Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, New Powerpuff Girls, and Archer. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Mel Moyer.
Hello.
Today, Mel and I will be discussing the latest episode of Archer Deadly Prep. Mel and I have been discussing every episode of Season 7 of Archer here on the Overly Animated Podcast. You can find us at overlyanimated.com or search for the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher. We're recording this Friday night. Usually we have them up, Thursday. We've had them up Thursday night the past week, so you can expect these sometime Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever.
Life.
Yeah. The show does air pretty late on Thursdays, so as always, our Archer discussions are not appropriate for all audiences, much like the show we are covering. Although last week, I don't know if we said anything inappropriate, but
no.
Yeah.
I was given the option. I was told specifically I could curse. And
you can curse on this.
I couldn't find an opportunity to do it.
We're very used to not for our children appropriate shows. Let's get into a Deadly Prep, a pretty notable episode of Archer. We got a lot of backstory on Archer himself. We diverge from our, in theory, season-long plotline that we've started revving up here. What did you think in general of Deadly Prep, Mel?
I enjoyed it, I think, more than the first two this season, just because I thought it was, I liked Archer's stuff. I thought Lana's stuff was really kind of underdeveloped and just happening off to the side. It was like 3 scenes of Lana's stuff, and it didn't really make sense, but it was kind of funny. But I thought the Archer stuff was actually pretty good.
The episode tried to have a B plot of Lana with the headmaster, but it was really only one scene, right? And maybe one or two others.
Hamantash
scene, yeah. So that was, I think that episode 2 last week's might have been funnier, but this was certainly more interesting. This episode it didn't have an extended voicemail gag. There's nothing on that level, I don't think.
They pointed out why they did.
Yeah, they did. They referenced it. And to a certain extent, I think that for this show, that probably makes this episode worse because I don't know. For me, it's more important for the show to just be cleverly funny than to be good, good character wise. Which I don't think has always been true of the show, but I don't know. But I think this episode's really interesting and notable because of what we do for Archer's character. And there's a lot of interesting backstory stuff for him. And I actually the backstory stuff is maybe not even the most notable parts of Archer's development here. It's kind of just how it's handled in the present. I think we have a continued moralizing of Archer's character this season. I kind of pointed this out last week or maybe the week before that Archer was talking about how, I think it was probably in the premiere, how he hasn't killed anyone in a while, and it's that seemed like a throwaway line, but we kind of get it again, Archer again talking about his relationship with just killing people, and I don't know if this is something the show has done before, but just actually treating it legitimately, the Archer's actions and the ramifications on his character.
Strange possible moral compass, maybe.
Yeah, and it's
burgeoning.
It seems I think maybe the implications might be that having AJ has humanized Archer a little bit, and he's more aware of his actions. I'm not.
Yeah, because that did come up. Because I wanted the Whitney, as the one guy said, mentioned it at one point. I think he was like, "You're a father." He said something along those lines when they were talking in the kitchen after he shot him in the foot. When he was trying to reason with him, he's like, "Come on, you're a father.
Yeah.
You get the so."
Yeah, this episode's notable. We actually see AJ. I don't know when the last time we saw AJ was.
She was playing with space toys.
I know
she was gonna be an astronaut or some shit. End quote.
I had no idea she was this old. AJ's fucking 2 now.
She's
Since
2,
when?
Yeah.
Since when? Did this storyline seriously happen 2 years ago on the show? That's crazy.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, wasn't she born at the end of... Was it the end or the beginning of season 4? It was the end of season 4.
Season 4? Oh my...
I think, yeah. And then she was around for a season.
So I completely didn't remember that. So her being this old is kind of crazy. Yeah, I think the show maybe, I don't know if it's like struggling with how to deal with AJ, but it's like not caring about showing her really. And the only reason they had her here was to serve whatever plotline they're going for. And maybe like I don't think that's true. I think that they probably started with this kind of notion of the effect that AJ is having on Lana and Archer, and then from there they developed probably the specific plot, right? Because like, what's the point of having her in? Just so you can do this one-off prep school storyline. I think that's probably not the point of this episode. I think the point of the episode is probably to see to have a more of an in-depth look on Archer and Lana, specifically Archer.
Yeah.
So I think I guess that's the purpose AJ is serving here. It is a notable choice considering we just never see her. Um, yeah, so I think that yeah, I think in a lot of ways this is going to be a really memorable episode. And potentially, I think it's kind of ambitious that they're trying to do a lot of stuff with Archer's character this season. Maybe I just don't realize it previous seasons because we weren't podcasting on it then and like analyzing every episode. But I don't remember the show doing nearly as much in-depth characterization, like season-long characterization of Archer as we've had this season so far. And it's only been 3 episodes, but I see like these reoccurring things like specifically the moralizing of him, the the effect of like relocating and the changes in his life and how that relates to the first point, and then just developing his past a little bit as we saw in this episode. So I think it's really notable and one of my biggest takeaways so far.
Yeah.
Did you get that sense from past seasons that they ever tried to do like complex characterization things with Archer, even other characters?
The closest they did to that, I think, is when he had cancer.
See, I don't even remember that.
That was like season 2.
Okay, yeah, that's so long ago.
Or season 3 when he had cancer, and they like had him have these like really like sympathetic moments.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't really done anything since then, and I guess maybe the scene in whatever season it was before Lana talked about being pregnant, or right when I guess she revealed that she was pregnant, and he gave her his oxygen tank. But that's about it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I don't know. This is the type of show that's hard to analyze on a long-term basis because it's so long, and it's not the type of show that people generate. It's like Mad Men. You'll see people going back analyzing the beginning seasons compared to what happened at the end of the show, but less of that for Archer. Not that that's like a valid thing. It's just I think the show probably does deserve more critical lens than it usually gets. But no, it's the reality, I guess, of it. What do we think? We've talked about Cyril a fair amount on the 2 podcasts we've had so far. I think this is somewhat of a big episode for Cyril, and especially his dynamic with Archer was pretty like lampshaded and also kind of analyzed to a certain extent through Archer's describing his backstory with the bullies. And then Cyril, at one point, Archer said, like, lampshades it and is like, yeah, you've never imagined, killing your bullies. And then later Cyril says something like how he implies that how Archer's his bullying led to his bullying of Cyril. And I think that was really interesting. Like, I feel like you've been expressing negativity towards Cyril's character. I felt like this was one of the more humanizing episodes for Cyril in a while, and actually like kind of gave a shit about him. Whereas other ones, I think Cyril's fine, but I just haven't really cared about his character as much. But I kind of did here in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Any similar feelings?
I mean, yeah, I was waiting for it to come up when Cyril showed up and he was talking about the bully thing and waiting for Cyril to pull this, like, oh, like how I was literally expecting that basic exact exchange to eventually happen.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they played it, pretty seriously. I mean, Archer kind of rushed it off like, yeah, like I forget what he said. He like agreed with him and didn't care or something like that. But it's interesting. They tried, I feel like it was like an attempt to like have Archer Cyril bonding a little bit, but not really at the same time, because they were kind of off by themselves, and I don't think they've done that in quite some time.
Yeah.
And he was like, when he thought Archer flew off in the car, he was freaked out for a hot second, but
yeah, I think that they were probably going for some sort of character
bonding
male bonding type thing, right? Yeah, I agree. It was kind of like you expected maybe more than the show gave us from this. Like we see Archer's. It's kind of surprising that Archer had this bullying in his past, considering how he just constantly bullies Cyril, right? Or maybe not surprising, depending
Well, yeah,
on your
because
expectations. Yeah,
Cyril explains like, oh, it's like naturally you would then become a bully.
yeah. I don't know if I've like expected that before, right? Though it makes sense now that they presented it, but I think it's kind of a change in dynamic from like what we've seen in the past, change in viewer expectation, which any sort of those things are notable in this late in the show. And I think that potentially handled well. I think they could have done a little bit more with it. But at the same time, the two lines that they did have or whatever had a large impact because they didn't overplay it. Maybe that's the way to look at it. We talked about this Lana B plot. Definitely super underdeveloped. What was your? I mean, I don't even know what did Lana
It
even
was like it would have been so like she was trying to get her into this prestigious daycare or preschool, I guess, which
preschool.
preschool,
Yeah,
which I guess I can relate to because my sister's that way with her kids at this point. She's like, basically, it's like they treat it like college at this point for these like
yeah,
3-year-olds. They're like they need to get into really good preschool. So like that I think is funny and it works. And like I do like the idea of her like stressing about this and then, the line where she was like, she's gonna grow up to be an astronaut or a physicist or some other shit was like funny.
yeah.
And her trying to butter up the dean was funny, but I don't like I don't suddenly she was getting arrested. Like
I think it was like strong in the beginning, like when we were talking
yeah.
about this, the basic concept. And yeah, she said a
Yeah.
titan of industry or an astronaut or some
Yeah,
other
because
shit.
it was literally like 3 scenes because it was that opening scene and then it was her yelling at Mallory for saying something like
Oh yeah,
anti-Semitic to
yeah,
the dean, and then tries to bring the Hamantash into his house, and then she gets arrested. And then at the end, she's in jail. Like it's a weird. It was like maybe like a total of like 3 minutes of screen time, I think,
yeah,
for this whole B plot.
yeah. I think the opening scene was good, and then after that, it just moves too fast to not connected. Um, I don't know. Did you have like take? I don't know. Did you think the scene that's like through the past the opening scene? Do you think anything was good for Lana's character in there, or is just like
I don't
shoehorned
know
in
because
sitcom plot that type
I
of thing?
don't know if I appreciate the fact that they're like really playing up her and the baby because it feels like they're kind of just making that out to be her character. Like in the first episode, like her and Archer went off to it was the first episode when they snuck into the possible Jewish lawyer's house.
Yeah.
Um so like that's fine and like the baby came up for a hot or the 2-year-old, I guess I can't say baby. Um
People,
came up for like is that still a baby? Is 2 still a baby?
I've noticed this recently. People say baby for like up to like 3 or something
Yeah.
sometimes, and I'm like, I
AJ.
never, my mental schema of baby was never that old. Anyway, continue.
Um but yeah, so like that happened, and then since then it's basically just been Lana hasn't been in the scene without either mentioning AJ or now AJ being in the scene with her. So I'm not sure. Like, I appreciate them like sort of demoting her just to like Lana as the mom, but they're still trying to, I guess, like make it funny, make it work.
Yeah,
But I don't. I'd find nothing from it. Like I prefer her interactions with Archer and her and them on missions more than her like trying to get her daughter who has this again the strangest backstory and narrative arc
yeah,
ever into preschool. um I don't know. I think I like the idea of it and I like the idea of Lana being super duper competitive about preschool, but I just don't think it was executed that great.
yeah. I think Lana's certainly strongest interacting with Archer. And I think I don't know. What I thought from this episode, at least from this intro scene, was really interesting how they presented like Lana as a mother. Like this line of the Titan of Industry astronaut or some other shit. Like it's like Lana still like wants to be like the hyper competitive, like only the best things for her.
AJ's playing with spaceship toys.
Spaceship toys, yeah, for best things for a daughter, like mother type thing. But at the same time, she's still Lana, so she's still like jaded and kind of skeptical of all that. So that's why she's like all this shit, you know. But she still like wants it because she does actually care about Lana, which I think care about AJ, which I think is in character with Lana, is that she's still kind of a moralizing presence, even if she is like this sarcastic and jaded like Archer is. She's still she's treats things seriously. And I think that this is kind of a natural progression towards how she's dealing with AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think they definitely come into danger though when we're making her having that be like the main focus of her character.
Which is interesting because when we watched the first episode, you were like, "Yeah, I think that's the only mention we're gonna get of AJ,"
Yeah,
and now it's like
I
a
mean,
B
yeah,
plot.
I mean, I doubt it'll be past this episode. It's probably one episode thing. So, and
Those words.
whatever. They definitely didn't handle this plotline well though. I think that yeah, and other than that, there's like nothing. We had like one Mallory scene. We had one scene with Pam and Cheryl, which was yeah, like we've had a continued lack of those two characters, especially Pam on this season, which I think is going to disappoint a lot of people. We're due for our classic Pam Archer shipping
Pam
episode.
Archer.
Yeah, there's always one every season, and then the shippers will come out in full force for. I think that's like our main couple, our main online ship for Archer.
It's funny because I was looking something up on because now every show has its own wiki page.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Archer wiki page for I don't know, I guess it was on Lana's page and it says relationships. Like one of the first thing it says under Archer is like any fan of Archer can tell that Lana and Archer care deeply about each other. Like it was very much written with a shipper bias, and I've never actually experienced like firsthand
People
the
shipping in
shipping
the show. Yeah.
on Archer. So I hope there's a Pam and Archer scene because I want to experience that.
Let's go to archive quickly. I want to see what relationship has the most. Has the most. I almost guarantee you it's Pam and Archer, but we can check. Then again, with archive, it's always like the male. If there's a male pairing, it'll definitely be the most. So I don't see it though. I searched for Archer and it's not coming up. So maybe there are no Archer fics.
Okay, Archive of Our Own has like Bible fanfics. There's hold on, wait a minute.
So like, how is this not a thing, right?
Let me
That's my
see
question.
here.
We'll get back to that episode discussion in
Relationships.
this.
Oh wait, yep, I found it.
You found it? Link of me.
Yeah. The top one is Archer and Lana.
Okay.
Where's Archer and Pam? Is that even
Link.
on here?
I can't find it.
All right, hold on. It's under Archer cartoon, which is rude.
Oh, it's not under TV show. They have a separate category. Okay.
Yeah.
I
There
see.
you go.
Yeah, I mean, TV shows are cartoons, or cartoons are TV
Wait,
shows.
what is why is there a Leslie Nope? Why are there two Leslie Nope and Ann Perkin fanfics on this page?
I don't know. So let's.
Oh no, there is a Sterling. There's only 3 Sterling and Pam fanfics.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a small sample size, but the most is Archer and Lana, and then the second most is Ray and Krieger, which is very much an archive thing. Like, and then Archer and Ray, like the male ships are.
Pam and Cheryl.
I ship that.
I can see that.
That's my ship. Yeah, I don't actually ship that. I don't ship nothing in the show, but
They're all horrible people.
they're all yeah. Why would I ship them? Okay, so that was our tangent for the episode. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I was saying Cheryl and Pam. That one scene that they had. Yeah,
That was pretty good.
I think I need more. As Cheryl is my fave, so I need more of her in the season.
What
But
did she say?
so
I tried to remember what she said.
yeah, they're talking about they had some tangent about Vag Pass or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that scene is overall just is I don't know.
Which came up later.
AV Club review wasn't you know Vag Pass. So well, that was kind of dumb. I'm trying to find it. I just had it, but yeah, I think the AV Club wasn't crazy about that scene. It said it was kind of like a stereotypical sitcom-y scene.
That's what I'm here for, though.
You're here for stereotypical stuff.
That's what Archer is at this point. It's all stereotypical. It's like what season is this? 6?
7.
7. We're 7 seasons deep in this show. Like it's and we're still doing phrasing. We've established. I think again, like I said when we did the first recap podcast for the season, like you watch Archer at this point for the motifs and the tropes of it.
I mean, I think Archer in general is kind of subversive, which is why like one of the reasons people like it. But like at this point, it's going to be like stereotypical of itself. I think is maybe what you're saying. Yeah.
V self-referential.
Yeah, I agree, definitely self-referential. We Cheryl in this episode says we get a free pass for having a veg. I assume we can expect discounts at local businesses and theme parks. And the way she says it is really good.
In theme parks.
In theme parks, yeah. What else? You mentioned the self-referential. We have another phrasing at this point, which was potentially one of the best uses of phrasing ever in the show.
And it got like stepped over. didn't it?
Well, Lana and Archer are like having a side combo in the intro,
Yeah, and she
and
tried
then
to say
Lana's
phrasing, and
like, "That wasn't so hard," she said. Phrasing, boom. Wait, what's happening? Are you okay? After he didn't react to it, like it was kind
yeah,
of just this play on Archer's character, the fact that he wasn't into phrasing. Like that's so good. That's such a good use of that.
yeah.
I also, I don't know, is that out of character for Lana to do phrasing? She's so upset.
I
Whatever.
think it was I think it was in character for the way she did it
Yeah.
because it was kind of an obvious use of phrasing because it was like that's what she said. I don't think they've really done too many that's what she said.
Yeah, that
So
was really
it
just that's
feels
what
like
she said. Yeah.
it feels like Lana trying to get in on phrasing.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like softened, I guess, and it's
Yeah.
now. What do you think of Lana's character in general? By the way, do you think she's one of the stronger characters on the show, like over
Uh,
the course of the 7 seasons?
I think she was for
Hmm.
a bit. I do think this weird plot with the baby kind of made it, and not because like I'm automatically against women having children in like in media. Like I don't think
I
that.
think
And
I think sitcoms in general are kind of against women having children. They
well,
they
yeah,
always like write the babies off, yeah, like and have
yeah,
them
and
on
then
screen.
once they have babies, that kind of like for whatever, like it's the way it's handled more so. Like I like there's nothing. I very much, and Dylan's like this too, like rallying against the phrase strong female character and like kind of the idea of what people think a strong female character TM should be. So in that sense, like I don't care if women have babies or get married. Like I don't think it affects their character at all. I think they're still the same character they were before that happened, and there's no reason anything should change. But I think in these like sort of sitcom situations, they're so lazy with writing these sort of baby arcs that it does degrade the character, and especially when you had this weird, very strange way that Lana like got pregnant and had this baby. Um, and now they're kind of making it like I guess the point is here in the season is like to make AJ a big part because like the idea is like okay Archer ends up like floating dead in a pool or so it seems, so they're gonna like hammer home the fact that like he has a child and he and Lana are kind of weirdly together in their strangely dysfunctional relationship that they have, and like that the point is to make you care and that stuff. But I don't like the way that Lana was like like the way that they handled her with this baby after she like had AJ. So I don't know. I mean, I liked Lana in like the first 3 seasons. I liked when she was like not putting up with Archer's shit at all, when he was like trying to hit on her, and when she was with Cyril and wasn't with Cyril but still wasn't with Archer. Like I thought that was peak Lana. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I just recently I've my thoughts and feelings towards the way they handle Lana has chilled, cooled off.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I remember enough to comment too deeply on this. I remember at times thinking that Lana was pretty strongly characterized, but I not probably not didn't always think that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I don't know. So far, I think this episode probably good overall for her, although it goes off the rails at the end.
Yeah.
So two more things I want to talk about. I want to get into the lines of the episode, which some of we talked about already. Also, I want to talk about the season long plot arc that we've been checking in on. Episode 2 seemingly put an end to it, which is obviously not true. And this was kind of a standalone episode up until the end when Cyril fails to grab the relevant evidence from the safe, and it's apparently ties back to everything we've seen. So how do you think this episode kind of plays into this season long plot arc that we've been building up?
I mean, I will say I was frustrated that he didn't grab that stuff from the safe. That actually was it worked.
You didn't buy that Archer was driving off, and
No, I knew Archer was driving off. It frustrated me that he like took a million seconds to be like, "What's this? Let me
you're
read
so
every
Archer right
syllable
now.
of the of of the CD disc." Huh? What could like? And he didn't even grab all the money either. Like it's just that was.
I'm Team Cyril in that scene. Archer should have just stayed. That's my.
Archer was getting shot. Archer was getting sniped.
He was true. Yeah, it's I don't know. I think that this is kind of interesting in how they're handling this long term plot arc. Yeah, we'll see what they do. Like, I wonder if it's more of a bookends type thing, where the first 2 episodes and the last two would be about it, which is what a lot of like drama shows nowadays do. Is they have the recurring plot arcs at the beginning and
I
end.
want to say Breaking Bad was kind of the big one that did that.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
What
I'm not going to say it was the first because I have no
I
idea,
mean,
but
it's
of
a
recent TV
yeah.
shows.
I mean, I haven't seen it, so
Yeah.
yeah, don't hold that against me, listeners.
No, it's fine.
Mr. Robot, which I've seen recently, is the big
I
thing.
need to watch that.
Mr. Robot like heavily does that. Like the first 3 episodes, the last 3 episodes are super important. Then everything in the middle is like related but not essential. Like I think almost every show at this point does that. So I wonder if that we're going to go through that type of thing, or if this was just like a one-off and we're going to go back to the more plotty type thing. Because I think Archer in general really has never had like every episode be relevant before.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of started that, I guess, with Archer Vice, and they did that intro scene at the very
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah, Archer. Yeah, I assume Archer Vice like wasn't consistently plot relevant, but probably closer than other seasons.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. What notable lines haven't we talked about here? We talked about the phrasing line, the
Hamantashen.
multiple references to Hamantashen, yeah. Swirling Archer. Yeah, we didn't even talk about
Oh,
Ivy.
yeah,
We can
swirling.
talk about Ivy and Whitney, right?
Whitney.
Yeah.
I was waiting for them to comment on the way he was saying it, and then they didn't.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah, I like that. I love whenever they do the white or whatever. They have one character that says that, and
Whip.
yeah, whipped cream. Yeah, I thought so little of that plot arc that I have nothing to say about it. Like that's a very typical Archer arc. Like
Yeah.
one person wants them to do something, and then it's like they betrayed them, and they don't want to do it all right. And
I thought it was like the way the setup was kind of like with the assisted suicide was kind of
yeah, that was kind of interesting. Yeah,
it was almost interesting and new until it turned into the same Archer plot that he was
Yeah.
just taking a very roundabout way to call in a hit on someone.
I agree with that. I think it was the assisted suicide thing was interesting, but then yeah, it's literally just something they've done a lot of times.
I do like when he was like, "All right, I'll be over by 10." He was like, "Don't tell me what time." He was like,
Yeah.
"Where am I?"
Yeah. Archer. It's really interesting how Archer like loses and gains the power in that conversation and stuff like that when interacting with his two former bullies. That's pretty interestingly played. Archer definitely not like on top.
He shot him like, and he punched the like because he
Yeah.
was talking to Whitney, and then he shot him in the foot. And then when he jumped into the car with Ivy, he just started punching him, and he was like, "How does it feel being beat up by somebody bigger and stronger than you?" Not great.
Yeah.
So,
It was pretty interesting. Like I referenced before, the Archer morality continuation. Ivy asked him, "Have you killed people before?" Archer's like, "Literally scores of them." Yeah, and then he's kind of, I think he's kind of hesitating at first on whether to kill Ivy, and then he eventually is pretty willing.
oh, I saw a centipede.
Oh no! Now you have to burn down your room.
Oh, it was fast too.
I think centipedes are fine, but I don't know.
They're just really not great to look at.
Sorry, it won't be 10, or will it? Yeah, that's what you referenced. What else we got here?
Ugh.
The murder victim, a would-be murder victim. Don't tell me you never fantasized about killing your brother. So yeah. Oh yeah. Archer says Ivy's a cuckold betrayed by his wife and friends, and you're a cuckolding thief, and between us, clearly an alcoholic.
Cuckold.
Yeah.
Kind of an outdated term.
I don't know. I mean, Archer takes place in the past, so I guess that makes sense. But that's a term that has been
Past slash. It's very
it's not
anachronistic.
that term is at a reemergence on the internet. Let's just say that.
It's because of Hamilton.
I don't before this
No.
before
It did come up in Hamilton though, but that also takes place in 1776. So
you will find the word cuck frequently on the darker parts of the internet. So that's
Dylan's my ambassador to Reddit.
the 4chan parts. I don't know about
Or
Reddit.
4chan, that's what it is.
Yeah, I will not speak for Reddit here. Anyway, after the whole biker voicemail fiasco, Mother took it away about his cell phone. Mother took it away is such an Archer thing to say about his cell phone, right?
Yes.
It's great. Yeah.
That's one of the, I think that, and that's one of the things that I don't think gets old. And one of the things that's so well done is his relationship with Mallory and how, like, I never get tired of hearing jokes about how, like, he's such a mama's boy.
Yeah.
And every time she calls him by his full name. So I enjoyed that bit.
Archer says he went to like 6 different private schools in like 5 or 6 years or something like that. That was like, I don't know if we had that stated before on the show. That's interesting. More characterization.
I just like when they show little Archer with
Little
his
Archer,
little
yeah.
Archer voice.
Yeah. And yeah, mostly, yeah, we had them swirling him, scenes of that. And then at the end, the weird Archer, Lana in jail scene. Archer giving an impassioned speech for not going to not putting AJ in private schools. And then we see the Lana's in jail. I don't know. That scene didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, again, that was like why I don't understand why she was being arrested.
Yeah. Overall, what grade would you give this episode? On the AV Club scale. The AV Club has given it a B.
I really like the Archer stuff, and I'm willing to ignore the B plot because it was literally only 3 lines, even though the A plot kind of circled back to it in the end. So I'd agree with that, it being a B.
I'm also on B. Yeah, on board B. I think last week I would give an A minus. This week is like B plus. I don't know. I don't think it's funny enough to be that high, which I feel like that's like the main.
I thought last week, like this had, I think for me, like I was more engaged in the plot. Last week was just a really funny episode.
I can buy that.
So that's why I gave it a higher rating last week.
Yeah, to me, funnier is more important for this show than characterization, but I'm not saying that's like an objective truth, just like for me when I watch it. Yeah, I think that this is probably our most interesting characterization of the season so far. So we'll see next week what happens. I don't know. The like 2-second preview at the end of the episode is super inconsequential, so I have no idea what we're expecting. Let us know what you thought of this episode, of our opinions on the episode, of I don't know, something of Archer shipping, what you ship in Archer. Yeah, let us know.
There are people who are crazy attached to that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Leave us comments on YouTube on the overlyanimated.com or Tumblr, Ask or Twitter or whatever. And you can check out overlyanimated.com. We also have an Archer specific iTunes feed. We have those for all the shows if you just want to subscribe to our Archer podcast, et cetera, et cetera. And this ad-free podcast is brought to you by our patrons. You can support us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you to our patrons, Shayna, Mitch, Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Andy, I think I said that already, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, a.k.a. Hannah, Fever, Mitch, Cordell, University, Beatrice, Jane, Nathan, Fillion, Buzz Lightyear, Mailman, Rachel Rose, Johnny Bravo, Brian, and Cookie Cat. Mel and I will be back next week discussing Archer up at some point, Thursday to Sunday, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And yeah, let us know what you thought. I haven't heard too much feedback on the Archer podcast. I see the hit count, so I know some of you are listening to these. So, but yeah, let me know if what you think of them feedback wise, if you are one of those listening. The last comments, Mel?
Nope.
Yep. There you go. That was this week's Archer. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.